Hi, boys and girls.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm the Goose, and I'm here with my monk man, River, here.
Hey, it's Hare Krishna.
Oh, sorry. And we're here in the spirit of The Dark Knight Rises coming out soon. And actually, you know, I mean, I'm just as equally excited for the Avengers, but we're going to talk about Batman, though, in this particular segment. And we want to talk about our favorite actors who have portrayed Batman and donned the suit with or without nipples. I don't know how we want to go into it. Do we want to talk about our least favorite? I'm just going to jump right in and talk about my favorite. To me, I mean, as much as I love Chris Nolan and his Batman films, and I'm a big Christian Bale fan, Michael Keaton is always going to be my favorite Batman. My favorite Bruce Wayne, too.
Mine would have to be the same. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Christian Bale as Batman. Michael Keaton is king to me. The first Batman, it will be my favorite always just because Jack Nicholson's in it. And just everything about that movie, the Prince soundtrack, everything about that I love. You know, the whole Tim Burton feel to it. And of course, it goes along with the second one.
Well, sorry to interrupt you there, but speaking of the whole Tim Burton feel, then you should like the second one the best, like me. I mean, the second one to me, they're very close. I love Jack Nicholson. I love the Joker. There goes my hat. And I love the portrayals in the movie, but the second one is just a better movie to me. For the reasons why River here, thank you, was saying the first one was his favorite. It is more Tim Burton. You know, Tim Burton was still a young, new director, you know, with a couple films under his belt when he got offered the first Batman. And then when it proved to be a humongous hit, he got more creative say in the second one.
Yeah, he didn't have 100% in the first one.
No, that's why he had Prince soundtrack and stuff like that, and all the Hollywood, you know.
Which I loved.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure for me too, but you know, Prince was huge in the 80s, you know, so I could see why they would want to latch onto a big name soundtrack. But like I said, he got more of a sweetened deal for the second one, and he hooked up with his main man, Danny Elfman, and it was more gothic, and it was just a darker movie. But you know, I think the second one is just a little bit better of a film. And people never give credit to this, but when I say who are my favorite Batman villains as far as the movies go, it is hard not to say Jack Nicholson's Joker. He's the best. But right close behind him, and people don't ever give this guy credit, but Christopher Walken. Mm-hmm. To me, he was a villain. Max Schreck was a villain in that movie. And he's just freaking brilliant. You know, I think I could go on and on about the one-liners from him in that flick. But anyway, yeah, he might not fit the comic book image, but you know what? We grew up with him. That's the way we roll.
And a lot of people aren't giving the Tim Burton films credit at all. I mean, they just want to say, oh, the Nolan films are far superior, which I don't see it. I mean, of course I grew up with these films, but I mean, it's just something about the style of these films. It's more comic book style. I mean, you know, if you like the darker stuff, which I do, but I'm sure you go with the Nolan stuff, but there's just something about Jack Nicholson that just did it for me. I mean, he hit every cylinder for me. I mean, he's funny, you know, he's creepy, like, everything about his role, and Bruce Wayne, I mean, it did it for me. Vicky Vale was awesome, so.
Those ruby lips, that luscious tan, hair color, so natural. Only your Undertaker knows for sure. But, you know, you have the purists out there. You guys might be some of those purists that want to dog the original Batman flicks because they aren't like the comics and they are kind of campy. And you praise Nolan's works because you know they're based off they're good. They're based off the grittier Frank Miller, Dark Knight and all that stuff. I get that, but you know what? I'm also just as much as I'm a comic book lover, I'm also a film lover, and I can take in the fact, and I can walk into something like the first two Batman movies and accept it, that this isn't just a Batman adaptation, like, oh, this isn't a pure Batman adaptation from whatever line of comic books. This is a Batman movie through the Tim Burton filter. And that's exactly what you get, and I love old Tim Burton movies, so to me it's a win-win.
But everybody, you know, praises The Dark Knight, but I find Batman Begins far superior to Dark Knight.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd seen Batman Begins opening weekend when it first came out, and, you know, it was what it was, and then I didn't see it again for a few years thereafter, until actually after Dark Knight. Then Dark Knight came out, and there was all that hype and promo leading up to that, you know, and of course I saw that, of course I loved it. When I saw that, I was like everybody else, where I was like, wow, this is so much better than Batman Begins. It's awesome because, Batman Begins was more story driven and kind of getting that out of the way, and this was a lot more going on. But you know what? After seeing The Dark Knight literally 500 times and that getting beat to death, and everybody and their mom talking about it and doing those god awful Joker impressions, I got sick of hearing those. I don't need you to put a smile on my face. I'm tired of it. I got it. And then so after that got beat down dead, I decided to go back and watch Batman Begins the first time since I saw it in theaters. And it was funny because maybe it was just because I got sick of Dark Knight, but yeah, I agreed. I'm like, Batman Begins was fresh. It's like, wow, I really like this, and I think I welcomed the story, kind of driven script of it.
I love the story, and
Liam Neeson was awesome.
Oh, he's great.
Which he'll be back in the next one, so at least according to IMDb.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
DB, sorry, yeah. So
I've only seen The Dark Knight twice, and I'm never gonna watch it again personally. I mean, it just did not do anything for me.
Yeah.
But Batman Begins, I was a huge fan of when I saw it in the theaters. Of course, I got it on Blu-ray. I have, The Dark Knight as well, but I'm never going to watch it again. I mean, it's just a film that didn't do it for me, and then just the whole, the opening scenes for Batman Begins with, the training and everything with Liam Neeson, that got my dick hard. Watching that, I don't know, the whole samurai type of, training sequences and all that stuff. I really enjoyed that, so that's what did it for me. But I'm still going to see the new film and all. I don't have high expectations, or I'm not going crazy to see it, but I'm definitely going to see it.
I'm really curious on other people's takes, so feel free to sound off in the comments below. Really, their expectations for The Dark Knight Rises after such a huge build-up the second one left off with. Because we do have a bit of a curse legacy going on here, where it follows suit. The second one is always the biggest. It's always the biggest, rakes in the most dough, and the third one always is the worst. It's always the trilogy. You can look at X-Men 3, Spider-Man 3 in particular, even the original Batman series. If you really think about it, it's always that way. The third one always fodders and falls by the wayside.
Are we talking about Batman Forever now?
Well, we can call that our segue into it, but no, I was talking about The Dark Knight Rises personally.
Okay.
Is it going to be as good? Is it going to fall victim to the
Spider-Man 3 curse?
Or just the comic book movie curse?
Yeah.
It's the third one always falls flat, compared to the high expectations the second one gave. But yeah, we'll merge right into the next Batman, which is Val Kilmer, which
guilty pleasure.
Well, the movie, while not as bad as the fourth installment, I liked it when I was a kid.
How's my mole?
Fine, yeah. I liked it when I was a kid, and it was a big hit in the theaters, and I collected all the freaking Kellogg's Apple Jacks and Pops with the different faces on them, or the Two-Face and whatever. I got into the gimmick. It was a very marketed movie, of course. But, I really grew out of it. I grew out of the flashy Joel Schumacher vibe going on there, and just, to me, that was the campiest one, and the fourth one as well. But I gotta give Val Kilmer some credit. I think he was a great Bruce Wayne. Batman, he was okay. He was an alright Batman, great Bruce Wayne. I can't really dog him. The script was just funky. And the rest of the casting was, I don't think it was bad, because
Jim Carrey was at the height of his career there, and so was what's his fucking name? Tommy Lee Jones.
He's at the height of his career?
I think so, back in the early or mid 90s.
He's been around a while. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. But honestly, as much as bringing Robin in the mix is always the worst idea possible, yeah. Chris O'Donnell played a good Robin. I liked it. If you had to, you don't think he did? If you had to cast somebody in Robin, I get it. Purists are going to be like, Robin's supposed to be a little boy. In the comic books, yeah, Robin was a little kid.
Never been a big Chris O'Donnell fan.
Robin is supposed to be a little boy. He's supposed to be a little kid. But whatever. That would have been even cheesier to cast Frankie Muniz or whoever. Yeah. That would have been more appropriate. But like I said, I didn't think Chris O'Donnell was too bad in the role if he had to put it. But anyway, he should have never been there. But yeah, anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Give some props to Val Kilmer. But now we're on to George Clooney.
The debacle?
George Clooney. I like George Clooney. I think he's a good dude. I like some of his flicks, Four Really in particular, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
But he had no place in Batman. And I don't know, just going after that paycheck, that's when he was still kind of establishing himself as a movie actor, coming off of ER and stuff like that. So who could blame him for jumping on that franchise? But he is the worst.
He is the worst.
He is not Bruce Wayne at all. He is not. And the movie sucks. It's horrible. It's campy. It's not even worth sitting through. The only way, the best part about that movie is the YouTube 5-minute condensed version with just the Arnold one-liners. That's the best. I mean, that's all you need. But
not sending me back to the cooler.
You know, it's just we could cool party. We could just go on and on and on about those. But like I said, it's not worth stomaching the whole movie for. So go on YouTube and watch the condensed version. I do have to say, I hate it when people talk during the movie.
Do you own that film?
No, you know what? I paid and I bought Batman and Batman Returns separately on Blu-ray when just a few dollars more would have bought me the 4-pack box set. But you know what? The other two movies in the box set were not worth the extra $5.
Yeah.
That's how passionate I am about not owning those movies. You know. But with that said, that's my view on it. What is your guys' view on it? We know how you guys like your Batman. Please.
Burton or Nolan fans? Let us know.
Yeah, especially I mean, I can honestly say that probably none of you guys are going to be, well, I like the George Clooney Batman one. I like the Batman Forever. I'm sure none of you guys have those as your favorites. It's pretty much down to Burton and Nolan. So we can just kind of limit it there if you want. But yeah, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, all the way.
I'm pro Burton.
I'm pro Burton. I like all of it. So Batman Returns is my in particular vote, and he likes the first one. So
yeah, give us your feedback BehindTheMaskPresents.com and on the YouTube page. So
yeah, and next up, I would love to talk about the Avengers.
Yeah, this guy's taking me.
All right, peace out, guys.
See ya.